So welcome back to Wakefield Trinity here. We are at the inspiresport Champion Schools final. Next one up is the Year 8 boys fixture between St Peter's Roman Catholic High School and Glantaf High School, who are from Wales. This is a repeat, isn't it, of Wembley last year. My name is Dave Parkinson, delighted to be alongside Kyle Amo for this one. How are you doing, Kyle?
Good afternoon, Dave. Yeah, no, delighted to be here. A rematch, of course, of Wembley's final last year in the Year 7 age, now a year older in Year 8, and we're here at the DIY Kitchen Stadium for what should be a cracking game of rugby league.
Let's run through the two sides quickly here. For St Peter's, it's number 1, Evan Marsh, 2, Ian Monk, 3, Oliver Anderson, 4, James Johnson, 5, Max Douthwaite, at 6 is Harry Brown, 7, Leo McMullen, 8, Jake Porter, 9, Theo Molyneux, 10, Jacob Blakemore, 11 is George Ainsworth, 12 Sam Hurst, 13 George Hindle, and the bench is Joseph Newsnip in 14, Max Dempsey in 15, Charlie Sykes in 16 and Isaiah Ward in 17. For Glantaf, it's Di Wicks in 1, 2 is Sam Fordham, 3 Will Harrison, 4 Tristan Nicholas, 5 Harry Davis, 6 Jack Witchell, 7 Reese Howard, 8 Khalil Hassan, 9 is Reese Mayers, 10 Ralph Jones, 11 Will Evans, 12 Jacob Knox, 13 Harry Reese, and a bench that features Ellis Evans, Archie Shackle, Griff Roberts, James Bickerstaff and Seth Robbins. Our referee for this one is James Broomhead. Touch judges Ewan Keat and Mav Rhodes, and we're just seconds away from the start of this game. Looking forward to this one. Away we go. So it's going to be St Peter's with first use of possession. Charging the ball back, in fact it's a line break with the first carry. Superb run there from Leo McMullen. He's over halfway, he's over the 30, he's over the 20. Thrilling start to the game. Has he got enough in his legs? Yes he has. He'll cross just a few seconds in. Wow, what a start.
Oh, what a start for St Peter's. And it's the Leo McMullen who just slams his right foot down and then races away with the first touch of the game. A wonderful balance and pace there from the young half. He's able to race away and score the first try. And it's always a big, big plus when you hit the opposition early doors and take a bow, Leo McMullen.
He's got some confidence taking on the line from way back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has. Like I say, he just collects that ball, steps hard off his right foot, goes past Harry Davis, and then has the presence of mind to go around young Wicks at the back there.
So I didn't even get a chance to come up with what I was going to say, which is that we're on 25-minute halves for this one. And wow, to score within the first minute, within the first 20 seconds, what a tremendous opening.
It's a brilliant start for Peters. And the young halfback in McMullen, he's tasked from kicking this 20 metres away.
That just seems cruel, asking him to try and add in the extras after running such a distance at the start.
Oh, look, no, he's got this kick in his locker for sure. He is a confident goal kicker.
So McMullen lines this one up. What a wonderful start. Takes his time. In he steps now, right-footed kicker.
Look at that.
Oh, superb kick. 6 points to 0 in favour of St Peter's. What a start.
Brilliant conversion there from Leo McMullen. You know, that's where St Peter's are really strong, Dave, in the department of the halfbacks, in Leo McMullen and Harry Brown. We no doubt will be mentioning those two names over the course of the next 50 minutes.
That kick-off sent long. Into the 20-metre line it goes. Already skipping forward is Brown. Over that 20-metre line he crosses. Now he'll look to play. And they'll jump off the back of it. Theo Molyneux found a little bit of support. Moves into dummy half again, does Molyneux. Pops it out to the right. He set himself for a big drive there. Did Jake Porter.
Yeah, it was well met there by Nicholas.
Now off to the right-hand side, it's moved again. Oh, he goes through the arms of Brown. Little knock on from Brown, that one just drifted on this breeze. I've been saying over the course of the afternoon, it's been causing issues, this breeze, because at times I've had to reach out for this TV screen in front of me to try and hold it from getting blown over.
Yeah, well, it's up to the players to recognise that, Dave, and perhaps just take a little bit off the pass. The two halfbacks, McMullen and Brown, try to combine and look down that right edge, but Brown loses the ball 30 metres away. And Glantaf have an opportunity here to try and register something back.
Certainly putting plenty in motion at the back of this scrum. It'll come out to the base, and it's a solid hit up forward by Fordham to that 30-metre line. Now they'll come through the middle once more through Jack Witchell. Witchell plays it back, looking for Reece Howard. Howard stepping, skipping around, beats a couple of defenders. Tries to get the big handoff going, but to be fair, he's overwhelmed by Porter, who's virtually double his size, to be fair. Big run coming from dummy half. Oh, had to be an important tackle there from Brown. 10 metres out from the try line. Glantaf on the charge. Picked up well out of dummy half by Tristan Nicholas. He drifts off to the left. Still we're in play. Last tackle. Oh, perhaps not the greatest kick to come up with, but he was under plenty of pressure, to be fair. Credit there to the defence.
Yeah, it was, and Glantaf just getting a couple of quick play of the balls as well, and there's a trip here.
Penalty will go the way of St Peter's. Molyneux, Ozu disappearing under the challenge. What I do love in these age groups as well, Kyle, is that you've got lads who are in different growing spurts.
Oh,
as well,
yeah, yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, no, look, it all eventually balances itself out. But for now, you have to use everything you can to your strength. And there's some crafty players out there who'll play on the fact that they are smaller than others. And then there's obviously the big boppers as well, who'll use their size and strength in every way possible.
So McMullen strikes this towards the touchline, just about finds it. And they're going to go on the attack here are St Peter's. 6-0 up, 5 minutes gone. Molyneux to tap, he'll pick up a runner. A little bit of a stuttering run forward, but well met in the defensive line there, particularly by Rhys Mayers. Off down the right, it's moved again. All wrapped up, overwhelmed in the end. Continues with the effort there though, does Rhys Mayers. And off the back of it, St Peter's go forward. Jacob Blatemore over the halfway line. Now Lincoln out amongst the back line. There's Brown stepping past one player up to the halfway line. 15 metres in from touch. They continue this movement down the left hand side. Big run coming in from Hindle. March towards the touchline, however. Molyneux has to get away from that position. And Mullen gets his kick away too into the midfield. Well gathered in there from Khalil Hassan. Hassan rolled back towards his own line. Oh, and then a tricky play out of dummy half. There was calls for a knock-on from St Peter supporters in the crowd. 6.5 minutes gone. Under a bit of pressure here, Glantaf. Can they get themselves going forward? Or not with tackling like that.
Yeah, it's a good defensive set here from Peters. A couple of players where they've drove them back. Blatemore working hard out of marker again. And that's 3 or 4 players gone already, and only about 15 metres made for Glantaf.
Ended up being a good run on that side, and then Tristan Nicholas looking to pick up metres as well, but will be forced to play it on the last inside their own half. He's got to get away, find a way of getting away, that ball away, but he can't. And as a result, it's going to be turned over.
It's going to be turned over 5 metres inside of their half.
Well, he couldn't get the ball away, and I couldn't get my words out. So, ball moved in away from the touchline. There's Brown again, using that footwork to good effect.
Well, they've done a good job on him so far, chopping him down, and here comes Porter.
Good surge from Porter, that. And he had a chance to go again, and he's still going here. Shot 20 metres off on that carry, superb from him. 7.5 minutes gone, still 6-0 in favour of St Peter's. Little bit of interplay there, using the other front rower, Blatemore, who's burst his way to the 20-metre line. In centre field, Molyneux scheming, gets it out to McMullen. McMullen then finds Brown. Brown just plays it behind. Good work out to James Johnson. Johnson moving that ball further to Anderson. Oh, he set himself for a big run there, did Anderson, eventually dragged down. A couple of metres out. Molyneux in field. There's a real meeting of the defenders there. Still just 2 metres away from the line here. Oh, that was a clever little movement, right at dummy half, but they held out the Glantaf.
Yeah, brilliant defence from Glantaf. There was a lot doing in front of that play of the ball there. I think it was Porter. He just tried to use his size to crash over, but they answer everything there.
Yeah, sorry about that, Kyle. You picked up my top, I think. 12 metres away from the goal line, Glantaf. Ball picked up and scooped down this right side. Running chance for them, but equally strong defence though. Certainly since that opening try, defences have been on top, haven't they? Ball swept down this right side. Glantaf straightening up. Oh, big carry there from Harry Davis, but good defence on him. Ian Monk jumping in off his wing. He's continuing to track the defensive work, but it's a break in midfield. Sam Fordham away over the halfway line. Takes on Brown. He's got the pace on Brown, has he? Brown's continuing to chase. Oh, he does. Superb work there. Sam Fordham touching down for Glantaf. When he hit the afterburners, there was no stopping him.
Oh, there was no stopping him whatsoever. What a wonderful score that is, and it's exactly what they needed. Sam Fordham, just a little short pass off Witchell to Fordham. See here, the number 6, early tip on, and then he does Molyneux for footwork, gets on his inside shoulder, and he has a bit of work to do, and doesn't he do well? He beats Blakemore, oh, it's Hindle rather, and then he rounds Harry Brown. Brown desperately trying to get back, and he just runs out of legs. And Fordham scores a brilliant, brilliant try.
Fantastic response that from Glantaf. Conversion attempt to come. Out on the left side. Has he sent it goalward? He certainly has. What a kick. We're all level in this one, 6 points each.
Yeah, we're all square. And 2 long-range tries as well. Nothing much breaking them down. But young Fordham just sees the space. Just heading out there was the number 9.
He's quick through the gears, wasn't he?
He was quick through the gears. He certainly was.
Whichley was who added the extras. We're all locked up here. 10 and a bit minutes gone. 6 points all. Well, on the evidence of the first 10 minutes, we could be in for another thriller.
We certainly could.
Oh, kick-off restart. Oh, it comes off Glantaf chest. Brown picks it up.
How often do you see that after points, the mistake coming from the guys who have just scored the try? You see it across every level. And they just lose the ball there. And it's Peters now who look to try and examine the Glantaf. Good ball area here, Porter.
Porter pushing forward.
Oh, he's lost it. He's lost it. Oh, it's a penalty.
I was going to say he was under a bit of pressure there from Tristan Nicholas, but he got too much of it, to be honest, in Nicholas.
Yeah.
So they'll continue moving forward here and putting pressure on, will St. Peter's.
You just see there, they're lying all over Porter. He's trying to... Sorry, that was the play earlier, I beg your pardon. Here comes Porter, and that's deemed to be ripped out.
So big charge comes in from Blakemore. On the edge of the 20-metre line he goes. Molyneux will link it right with Brown, who drops it back over his shoulder, looking for Porter again.
Gotten through some work, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's involving himself every single tackle, or every single set, I should say. Inside the 20-metre line he goes. Molyneux shifts it outright, goes through McMullen into the arms there of Johnson.
Oh, that's good, that.
That was beautiful hands from him. Lovely short run to Ainsworth. Now they continue going down that side. Have they responded?
I think they have.
I think they have. He's managed to burst his way over. Superb bit of running there.
I'll tell you what, James Johnson comes up with some wonderful pieces of play. First of all, the first pass was a beauty through the line, but then he gets up, recycles, goes down the short side. Molyneux with a wonderful pass there to Johnson, who finds the space. And it's Evan Marsh who gets over in the corner for an important score.
So Marsh going in. St. Peter's going in front again. 10 points to 6. And I think you're right, to be honest, as well, because his involvement, Johnson, he got involved a couple of times in that set, didn't he?
No, he was. He got, he got the set moving forward right. and then able to get his head in the play, Dave, not being just happy with the pass before, gets up, recycles himself, has a look down that short side, knows that there's players there, and Evan Marsh was just too big and too strong out on that edge.
I always leave this day really encouraged about what we've got coming through.
Oh yeah,
from a rugby league point of view, and I'm hoping that there's so many of these kids that are, you know, they get to play more rugby league and they're linked with community clubs.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's so important, isn't it?
So conversion attempt to come from McMullen on that far side. He's got a very deliberate kicking action, but to be fair, the elements worked against him on that occasion, blowing the ball off the tee. So I've had the chance to commentate on two things that I've never done today, Kyle. So a player scoring 6 tries earlier on in one of the girls' finals, yeah. And I suppose as well, it was when somebody had moved up to put the finger on the ball to hold it up. I've never had the chance to commentate on that from a
You just need the old sand bucket back now, don't you?
Don't. I've got visions of Fran Obotica again. Oh.
Well, regardless of sand bucket or not, I'm sure Fran Obotica will be proud of young McMullen if he could slot this. It's a difficult angle for him, a right-footed kicker. Here he comes.
Ooh, he's giving it plenty.
Ooh.
Doesn't quite
reach. Up short.
Yeah. So the scoreline remains 10 points to 6, but this game equally as thrilling as the last. 14 minutes in. I love how we see, you know, so many different characters on the rugby field as well. Players willing to chance their arm.
Nice Jack Witchell, who's going to restart us here. 14 minutes, or just 15 minutes gone.
Got a short stoppage because the teacher was still on giving his side some advice. Kick sent long, bobs up into the arms of Harry Brown. Drifts across field, takes the tackle just outside the 20. Molyneux looking around, sent it to his right. Oh, that's a good carry. Really strong carry, that one.
Yeah, it's one thing Glantaf have done well is getting out from marker and chopping the big front rowers down at Peters, and Blakemore just gets on the outside, as does Porter, but he's pulled down. That's 2 decent carries.
Yeah, they just managed to restrict some metres on that second one as McMullen injects himself into the movement. Ball comes down this left-hand side. Line break again, chance on. And it was Hindle up to the halfway line. Plays it back, Brown ducks to the left and splits the markers, sets off. Seems a very instinctive player as Harry Brown.
Yeah, his footwork's great.
Ball moves into the middle of the field. McMullen gets his kick away. He just holds up in the breeze. Oh, he was under a bit of pressure there, but took it well, did Jacob Knox. 35 metres out from his own line.
Another decent defensive set there from Glantaf. And there's a lot of big ball carriers for Peters, and then the footwork of Brown. Hindle comes up with a nice carry, but they answer everything again. And here comes Witchell.
Yeah, nice step.
Oh, it's a really good step.
Really good run. Over the 40-metre line he goes. Looking around for support, has to play it. Again, sending the defence the wrong way. Brown recovers well to bring Glantaf down, 30 metres away from the line. Now moving in is Howard. Howard puts it right. Continue the movement down this way. There's Fordham. Scored that spectacular try a little bit earlier for Glantaf, but no way through on this occasion. Great tackle heading his way from Blakemore. Off the deck under pressure.
Oh, that's a neat pass.
That's a super pass. Charging into the 20-metre line goes Khalil Hassan. Hassan wins the penalty for his side.
Yeah, I think a high tackle there, just given away by Ian Monk.
So currently 10 points to 6 in favour of St Peter's. Cracking bit of defensive work there, but just going a bit too high.
Yeah, tackle 5 penalty as well. It just means that Peters are going to have to do what they haven't been asked to do so far. Is defend this part of the field.
Tell you what, Witchell offers himself up on regular occurrences.
He sure does, yeah.
Side forward. That's a determined run from Will Evans.
Yeah, they've got some good leg speed, haven't they, of Glantaf?
Howard off the deck to his left. Witchell again. Trying to draw a penalty or better for Tristan Nicholas. Good work from him.
They look like they got numbers out on this left, but they decide to go through the front door, and it's another good tackle, and it had to be as well on Howard.
Yeah, not sure whether that was the right decision there, but now he'll move the ball. Oh, Witchell, has he got there? Yes, he has. That's a bit of cracking play there from Jack Witchell.
Well, do you know what, Dave? He deserves that try, because he's probably been Glantaf's best from what I've seen in the opening 18 minutes.
He's been so keen to
he has,
take everybody on,
you know, he came up with that pass for Fordham earlier on, and he was just intelligent to move the ball. But then they do well on that play. But then the space out there, and like I say, young Jack Witchell, he spots it. Just look at the gap there outside of Ainsworth, and Porter doesn't quite move in quick enough, and then the try he scored.
You know what I really like? There was a bit of subtlety there from Jack Witchell. He took 2 steps, didn't he, just out to the left, and
he didn't go with him. Yeah, he's seen the space in between Ainsworth and Porter, and he was able to expose it and get that ball down.
So 10-all with his kick to come. Witchell sends it goalward. The flags are raised. They're in front.
And now it's Glantaf who hit the front.
10 points to 12 in this one. Let's have another look at this.
Again, you can just see there's an awful lot of space outside. You see Evan Marsh as the fullback there, just trying to organise troops. He's got his hands there, he's animated, he wants help there, but the space just outside the blue scrum cap in George Ainsworth, and it's enough.
Yeah, again, it was that subtlety, to be honest, wasn't it,
yeah,
from Witchell? As he, and we are only talking about probably a step and a half.
And he's a big, strong ball carrier as well, and you know, credit to him. He gets that important try, and they hit the lead for the first time this afternoon.
What a cracking start to the game. 12 points to 10 in favour of Glantaf. Evening sun shining towards us.
Another short one from McMullen.
They'll make it a challenge, and well taken there by Jacob Knox.
No, he wasn't going to be fooled the second time, was he?
Certainly got to it quicker than anybody else. Here's Witchell. Again, fearless running in the middle, taking on all comers. Plays the ball back now. Fordham. Hits Brown and spins away. To his credit though, Brown came back for seconds, and now continuing to go down that left side. Witchell feeding it out
again.
Oh, that's a brilliant ball, and brilliant pace as well. They're away. I think it's Harry Davis who scored. I just have to see that number. But that was superb work down that left-hand side. Absolutely wonderful play.
But again, it's Witchell, Dave, with his handprints all over it. Again, Johnson and Brown, after a couple of seconds, do pull him down, but then Witchell comes into the picture, flashes to the other side of the ruck, and just gets a pass outside to Harry Davis, gets on the outside of Douthwaite, and races away to score. Back-to-back tries for Glantaf.
Tell you what, they're dangerous from distance, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They've got some speed.
I was even more amazed I was able to say the right player, to be fair, as the sun was streaming in my eyes at the time.
Well,
but there we go.
But look, there's only one score in it now.
So
16 points to 10.
Yeah, St Peter's 10, Glantaf 16. Let's have another look at this.
You just see there, the numbers aren't set on the right-hand side of the field for Peters. Glantaf overload it. You can see the young fullback there, Wicks, he's wanting it, but then Jack Witchell just takes over like all dominant halves do, and feeds the ball, and Davis, with speed to burn, finishes off a nice try.
That's a real effortless running style as well.
I wish I had that.
I'm looking at him in envy as well, to be fair. I've recently gone back to the gym, I have to admit, Kyle, and it's not quite working for me yet. I'm trying to get in and use like the running machines, and I don't have emotion like that, to be fair. So back on the halfway line. Liam McMullen this time sends it long, and it'll bounce, it'll bobble. Kick. It's a great kick. Glantaf under a bit of pressure inside their own 20, but that's a great run forward. Coming down is Tristan Nicholas down this right side.
Yeah, he's able to beat 4 or 5 players there.
He had no right to beat that many players. Look a good side, this Glantaf team.
They certainly carry the ball well, don't they?
And that is half-time in this one, is it? Oh, no, no.
No, I think there's a head.
Head knock, sorry.
Yeah, it was just out. Young Sam Hurst, I think it was Sam Hurst who came out of that tackle.
Yeah.
Just looked a little bit gingerly off the kick-off. The ball was kicked deep, and the Glantaf player left an awful lot of black and yellow shirts just lying in a heap. And I think Sam Hurst was one of them. But he's okay though.
So he'll be okay to continue, and we'll restart this game. Good defence.
Yeah, it's a good tackle from Molyneux and Blakemore.
Had to combine. Oh, and then it's juggled.
Oh, we get away with it.
Oh, a fraction of a second earlier on the hit, and Ralph Jones was filling that, wasn't he? Move left again. Is that Witchell?
He's here again.
Oh, he's taking on the line. He's over halfway. He's over the 40. Has he got enough pace to get into the backfield? You bet he has. He's off into the corner. Superb run there. Wow, wow, wow.
Well, he's the best player on the field at the moment, Dave. Everything that's good that's been happening has all been Jack Witchell. You know, his passing has been spot on. His defence has been great. But runs like this are even better. Again, just a simple carry. There's an awful lot of bodies there he has to beat, and he gets round every single one of them. With James Johnson, James Johnson is a quick boy, but he can't quite get him. And Jack Witchell, goodness me, what a performance.
It looked like he got another gear to go as well with that. So currently, St. Peter's 10, Glantaf 20. Well, I wasn't expecting that after 30 seconds.
Well, no. Nor was I, to be honest.
It was an outstanding start to the game for St. Peter's, but basically after going 10-6 behind, it's been all Glantaf.
Yeah, it shows the sign of a good team, doesn't it? That they can absorb a shocking start, if you want to call it that, but then are able to have enough about them to lead at half-time. The kick's been missed. So it's 10-point lead, and it's Peters with it all to do now. But again, this try, a lot of long-range tries this afternoon. You just see the defensive line of Peters, you know, some are coming up, some are holding off, and they're creating mini triangles, and a player of the quality of Jack Witchell that he's showing this afternoon has got enough rugby IQ to take that space and race away and score.
He's having an absolutely storming game, Jack Witchell. St. Peter's coming back to the halfway line. They've had the discussions. The post-mortem's been done in how they conceded that try. I don't know how you stop that, though. I've got to be honest, because that was just quality down the left-hand side.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, you got to pay credit to the kid. He's having a storm at this afternoon, or this evening, should I say.
So McMullen back on the halfway line.
The interesting part as well about Glantaf is I'm led to believe, Dave, that they've only played 3 or 4 games of rugby league since that final at Wembley. They are a rugby union school or area, if you like, and that's what's making this win this win so far even more impressive. But that's better from Blakemore.
You tend to find that with a lot of the Welsh kids, you know, so even when
the
you speak
skills,
to anybody involved in like the Welsh international setups at the different age groups, you know, and they say there's not a lot of rugby league that they play, but what they try and do is play absolute quality when they do.
Yeah. And they're certainly doing that, and here's the
Witchell again.
Here's the try scorer.
Again, so eager to get himself involved inside their own half. They do move this ball confidently, and then when you've got players able to step and slide around the defence.
They're just beating too many players at the moment. One-on-one missed tackles.
Witchell handling that ball on a plate. On that 40-metre line, they'll just cross, and it's last tackle signal here. Ball back with Witchell, who's put under plenty of pressure there. Great kick pressure.
That's outstanding from George Hindle.
He's done so
well. He comes up with a knock after the boot gets hit from the ball, and it catches Hindle in the ribs, but that's that. It's half-time.
Well, what an entertaining first half that was. Well, brilliant start, first of all, from St. Peter's with that blistering bit of pace from Leo McMullen. Then they ended up equalising through Sam Fordham. That was gold by Witchell. And at that particular point, St Peter's fought back. They got that second try through Evan Marsh. That was really well worked, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and then,
it was, yeah.
And then it was just Jack Witchell takes over then.
Yeah, you've nailed it there. It was you score, we score, and then, you know, as so often you see in all levels of rugby, the players who are having the most impact on a game, they take control, and, you know, it's been the number 6, Jack Witchell, that's probably been the difference between the two sides. I mean, the way he's guided his team around, and then he's also his running game. He scored 2 tries off the back of just being direct and wanting to beat people, and that's why the scoreboard reads by 10 points. It's St Peter's 10, Glantaf 20.
So that's half-time in this one. This Inspire Champion Schools Year 8 boys final between St Peter's and Glantaf. What I've got you here, Kyle, you know, what are you up to these days? I know we see you on Sky most weekends.
Yeah, no,
which is fantastic.
Yeah, no, yeah. I love it, Dave. You know what I mean. I'm a huge nerd about the game, as we know, and it's just a real privilege to be a part of it, and, you know, talking about the excitement of the players that we bring to viewers at home as well, and, you know, yeah, it's just everything's a-okay at the minute.
I think this is why we get on, because we've got that same sort of nerdship.
Oh, yeah.
Rugby league nerdship. Yeah. You know, I think I must have set that club up though. I'm taking it. I don't know whether I should really be boasted about that, to be honest.
Hey. But no, I mean, look, these, you know, myself and Kevin Brown and John McMullen, of course, who works quite a bit with the RFL. We know a lot of these Peters boys. You know, all our kids go to the school. You know, a lot of the boys who are playing here, probably around maybe, you know, 50-60% of them all play at club level, so they get a lot of hours together with each other, and it's great, and it's all good progression. You know, whichever way around this final goes. You know, I mentioned last year they won it at Wembley, and it's important for their development, as it will be for Glantaf, that they face adversities, that they lose games, they learn how to win, they learn how to lose. And, you know, I mentioned earlier, the end goal, do not get me wrong, is to get these players playing at the highest level possible. But, you know, that's secondary. What for me and Kev and John, and I'm sure all the teachers and the coaching staff and all the community clubs, we've got an important role to play to make these better people for when they get into adult life. And, you know, sport has a wonderful thing of giving you those life skills.
What we often see, and certainly as I've done, you know, like champ schools over the last few years, is sometimes you then see teams coming back year after year after year.
Yeah.
You know, I remember there was a team of Castleford Academy girls.
Yeah.
Basically, they were in every single final, you know, and you see the development of the players, and that's the real beauty of this particular comp as well.
Oh, of course it is, you know, and you know, some schools are blessed with where they sit geographically, and they benefit a lot off the community clubs in and around there. But, you know, I can only speak on behalf of my son and the St Peter's staff who do wonderful work, right, not just through this age group, but right throughout the whole school, and I'm sure that the parents and the staff and the family members all associated with these Glantaf boys will say exactly the same thing.
So we're not too far away from the second half resuming. What do you think will have been being said to both sets of lads?
I think for Glantaf, look, really well done. That the fact that you coped with some early pressure, and then you were able to, you know, post points and through some strong carrying of the ball. But I think for St Peter's, perhaps missing just too many one-on-one tackles. They're probably not connected together. There's gaps, there's triangles in the line, and the Glantaf boys are exposing it, and that's why they're leading by 10 points at the moment. But, you know, perhaps for Peters, it's maybe just defend together in one unit as one line, and you know, a lot to do for them now over the next 25 minutes. But it's all to play for, Dave.
This is why we love rugby league, isn't it?
Of course,
you know,
it is.
Because there's always challenges that are ahead. Doesn't matter what level it is, it's always fascinating. And 20 points to 10 at half-time in favour of Glantaf.
Well, when you're getting kid sport as well, Dave, is sometimes, you know, you can go back there like bang, bang, bang in tries. It's not as you know, you would imagine though that another score in Glantaf's favour may possibly just be a bit too much of a hill to climb, given what we've seen in that first 25 minutes. But you never know.
So this start could be really, really important for St Peter's. And away we go. right at the start of this second half. Ball reaches Witchell, who fires it in field. And that was a brave challenge coming in from Harry Brown. Again, under plenty of pressure. Pass being squoze out from dummy half. Picking up the pieces there is Archie Shackle. On the 30-metre line, he'll play it. Ball shipped right. Witchell keeps it moving. Keeps it moving. Lovely stepping run, back on the infield. Working hard though, the defence of St Peter's, who trailed by 10 points in this one right at the start of the second half. Witchell goes forward again. He's the sort of guy as well who just says, give it me, I'll try and make something happen.
Well, he's as big as any kid out there. You know, he's a real rangy sort of halfback as well that can mix the ability up and carry the football as well, Dave. So a real threat.
Nicholas working his way almost to the 30-metre line. It comes back in field. Witchell gets his kick away. Oh, that's a tricky bounce there. Well, and it's going to be a penalty to Glantaf.
It is, yeah. It looked like that Witchell was taken out off the ball, and that's what the referee signalled as well.
Bit of a late tackle on him.
So as soon as he kicks, he almost goes for a chip over the top, Dave, and one of the Peters players just can't resist and has a little nibble. And the penalty's given away.
That was another thing I've seen this afternoon. Chip over the top from a halfback. Not seen one of them in years.
That's great, isn't it?
So Glantaf go back on the attack. Decent field position for him as well. Just 20 metres away from the line.
Well, this is where Peters have to be on red alert now. And they have to make the one-on-ones here.
So Reese Howard waits for a ball to reach him. Glantaf just getting themselves organised as well.
Well, there isn't too much shape around them at the minute, which tells you that they're only thinking about going one way, and that's route one. It's a wonderful kick from the teacher there. Spiral. Love it. He gets a round of applause.
He must have played rugby union to kick a ball like that. Tap to be taken by Howard. Who's he going to pick up on the run?
It's Evans, isn't it?
Evans charging forward.
Again, it's another big carry. He just knocks Hurst over.
Knocking on the door. Oh, it's another step. He's through again. Hat-trick from Witchell.
Well, I mentioned one-on-one, Dave. And the only evidence is there. Wonderful footwork. And this is a talented boy.
Found his way through again, didn't he? I mean,
it just looked too easy. It's what the best players can do. Make the game look so simple. And it's Jack Witchell again. Hat-trick already inside the opening couple of minutes. It was a brilliant carry, wasn't it?
Yeah, laid
from Evans, the captain. And then just keep your eyes here on the number 6. He goes in, he steps and beats Blakemore. The defence doesn't move up on the inside, and again there's another gap, another triangle in the line that's created, and he's able to read it and score, Jack Witchell.
And he's tagged on the extras as well, so 26 points to 10 is the score in favour of Glantaf. Bit of a chat going on behind those posts as far as St Peter's is concerned.
Well, I said that it was important for Peters that Glantaf didn't score. Now it absolutely is paramount that they don't score the next try, because if they do, this contest is over.
There's a lot to admire about this performance so far from Glantaf. As you were saying, in that case, if they're only playing 3-4 games a season, then imagine what they could do if they could play like 15-20 games.
Yeah, it's almost a shame, isn't it?
Yeah.
For the game of rugby league, but I've no doubt that a lot of these Glantaf players will be getting regular ball in hand, but perhaps in the other code, Dave.
So back on the halfway line, McMullen is there. Oh, it's a short one. He's after it. Set off like a shot. Forces the error. Really good work that from Leo McMullen. You get the feeling if something's going to happen, it's going to be through him, really.
Yeah, they had to roll the dice, and you're right. Cheeky little half goes for it.
See, I just need to see him chip over the top, and that's my afternoon complete then. Yeah, I've never thought of setting up a Parky bingo card of what I might see in a rugby league game. Might have to do that. I'd let you have a copy as well, to be honest. So this scrum to be fed. St Peter's with plenty of people in motion. Brown shuffles off to the left, links with McMullen, he then puts it wide. Big running chance there.
Hindle on that edge, yeah. It looks like he's going to get ushered over. And it's a penalty.
Yeah, high contact involved in that one.
Yeah, they just break away from the scrum. It was obviously a pre-planned move. Marsh just shipping the ball onto Brown, onto McMullen with then space for Hindle on the edge.
Porter.
And the referee just pulling the play back there.
It's a shame for Porter because he was set off on a really good run. Gets the ball back. Does a similar sort of run, twists within the challenge, put down on the 20-metre line. Across it comes into the middle. Lovely link-up play with Blakemore. Gets over the half.
He wins another penalty.
Line. Yeah,
not square.
And this will be where, obviously, as regular rugby league players, they can perhaps get a few penalties because of the smarts of the game.
Yeah, perhaps so. But it's Blakemore who just goes back towards the ruck and catches the markers not square.
Tap taken again. The pressure continues on the Glantaf line. Referee wasn't happy with where it was taken from.
He's not been happy with a few things in this last minute, has he?
Sam Hurst it was. He will now take it forward again. Inside the 20-metre line he goes. Referee bellows out to the defensive line to come back with him. Neat play out to Hindle. 12 metres away from the line, directly in front. Again, a neat bit of interplay in the through. Can he ground it? Yes, he can. Porter charging his way through. Magnificent play that.
Again, it's another well-worked move. One that was planned, two in, set the platform, lay it under the posts. And then we saw that play earlier in the first half on the try line, but this time it's well executed. It's Hindle who carries the ball in, and you can see all the crafty players in and around it, showing Brown, showing McMullen, giving it to Big Porter through the middle. It's just too big, too strong. It gets an important score for Peters there.
I like that. There was a lot of deception. You know what? That reminds me of watching those old Parramatta moves from the old Australian videos back in the 80s. The wedge, flying wedge.
Well, if they've worked once, they'll work again.
So McMullen, can he convert directly in front? What he said about St Peter's having to score next, and they have done.
They have done, yeah. They've closed the deficit back to 10 points. And they needed to do that. And again, it come off the back of a couple of penalties that Glantaf give away. First of all, for the high shot on Hindle, then the marker's not square that Blakemore catches out. And then just a nice pre-planned move, splits the markers through the centre of the field, and Big Porter gets the ball down.
Nice bit of footwork as well, to almost vault over one of the players who was trying to get him low down.
Can't be having prop forwards with footwork, Dave, can we?
Have a word with him as part of the prop forwards union. I'm here for it. I'm happy that we're seeing different sorts of skills in this one. St Peter's 16, Glantaf 26. Whitchell gets us underway. Who tries to find the touchline and does.
So, yeah.
Oh, that was like threading the eye of a needle, that. Superb kick-off.
Just couldn't deal with it out on this right edge. Yeah, had plenty of power and pace behind it. I said it earlier, Dave, sorry, that Peters, they have to be on red alert when they're on their try line, because so far, every time Glantaf have been down here, they've just looked like they're going to come away with points.
And I was just going to add that Jack Whitchell is always thinking. Always thinking. So Glantaf have the ball 10 metres away from St Peter's line. Whitchell gets hold of it. He's running, he's fed the ball out. Another pass, they're in again. A try scored, this time by Khalil Hassan. Good finish and lovely link up. Whitchell starting it. and then just keeping the movement going down this left-hand side.
Yeah, Witchell there, he catches the ball, hits his off his right foot hard, he gets past 2 or 3 defenders, and then there's 4 blue shirts out on the edge against 1 or 2 defenders. Just look, as soon as his ball ends up in his hands, he sees the space. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the right-hand side of the post. He catches the ball, beats 1, 2, 3, engages the winger and the centre, and then he's able just to pick his pass, and they just ship it on, and it's the big man out wide in Hassan who gets over, cancels that try out from Porter.
Wow, so just immediately as they respond, Glantaf do just that. Ooh, with the ball just drifts wide of the posts. So the scoreline remains St Peter's 16, Glantaf 30.
You've got to remember though that final a year ago, I think it was 26-6. Glantaf scored 30 points here, and there's still time on the clock. There's not a lot James Johnson could do there. We're beaten on the outside.
Nice movement into space. Archie Shackle with an underrated pass there, shipping the ball on too.
I've got to be honest, coming into this game, you know, we'd heard that Glantaf had been doing some good things and they had some key players, but I didn't expect them to put on this much of a dominant performance. I really didn't.
So they surprised you a little bit with the perhaps intensity.
Yeah, perhaps so, but more than what surprised me is the halfback. You know, Jack Witchell, 3 tries, 3 goals, 18 points to his name. Brilliant. Oh, well, there's a penalty given away here. This will help. Yeah. This will help Peters. But the scoreboard, the timer is ticking away.
Yeah, we've had about 12 minutes of the second half played. So we're midway through the second half virtually. So St Peter's go on the charge again. Blakemore inside the 20-metre line he goes before being overwhelmed and losing a couple of metres.
He's still going.
He is still trying to get another gear going. Ball to be played to Dempsey. He ships it left. Oh, had to set himself for low contact. McMullen, dummies, brings it across. Good chance here when the ball reaches Brown. Steps, goes again. Inside the 20-metre line he goes. 15 metres out from the try line. Dempsey again. This time feeds it McMullen. McMullen keeps it going. Johnson kept it moving as well. That's a dominant tackle. Brilliant effort, that one. And it forced George Hindle back towards the 20-metre line, but he's giving away another set of 6 here. That's Harry Davis. So now there's a bit of sustained pressure being put on the line as far as St Peter's are concerned. Oh, and the pass just drifts forward.
Yeah.
Just as it looked like it was building for Blakemore and St Peter's.
Yeah, McMullen and Blakemore just can't quite get it right between the two of them. The pass is thrown forward. And a relief for Glantaf, who have defended, you know, you have to say they've defended pretty well. They've defended all of Peters' key threats, the 2 middles and the 2 halfbacks, apart from McMullen breaking away at the start. They've defended pretty well.
Certainly have. They've got the feed of this scrum as well. Changes made amidst that scrum. Glantaf wanting to get on with things now. Picked up at the base. Big handoff came in, but that's a good tackle from Hindle. Ended up throwing him to ground like a rag doll.
There's a mistake there.
There is a mistake. Forced error as well.
Yeah, I like what George Hindle's showing there. A little bit of will and want. Breaks hard out the scrum and almost looked like he had a little bit of red mist there, I say. But he does enough there to force that mistake.
It was almost like controlled red mist though, wasn't it?
No, absolutely, yeah.
Within that, you just thought, I'm going to win this ball back. I'm going to do something just really positive for me team.
Yeah, just keen to try and make an impact there defensively, and does.
So again, plenty of movement amongst the back line as far as St Peter's is concerned. Scrum fed, picked up at the base. So it's another big charge coming in for Porter. He goes all the way to the line. Well, route 1 works.
Well, he showed it worked early and he's done it again from the base of the scrum. Jake Porter racing away 15 metres. The Glantaf players, they weren't ready for this. He just picks the ball up, gathers some speed behind him. And he's a big boy, a big strong boy as well. And goes right through Jack Witchell. He's probably not out there to defend as a number 6. He gets caught right in front of the big man and he goes over.
Bit of outstanding work that, to be honest, from Jake Porter. I love that. He's got the number 8 on his back. He looked like a rugby union number 8, detaching himself from the back of that scrum, didn't he?
A couple of tries from Peters there, just, dare I say, a bit cheeky from the base of the scrum. Nobody expecting the front rower to pick it up, and that little old Parramatta move that you called, Dave, as well.
I'm sure there's versions of that which are, you know, they're still on YouTube.
Well,
and if not, I'm going to upload some.
I'll tell you what. If McMullen knocks this over with 8 points in it, you wouldn't rule out Peters coming back and pinching this. They have to keep up this right-hand side of the field, though, because they've shown on the evidence that when Glantaf get down that end of the field, that they score points. So they've got to make sure they get through the sets, kick the ball well, chase, force mistakes like Hindle did. As we just see Porter get his 2nd of the afternoon.
I really like
I keep saying afternoon, it's evening, isn't it?
Oh, we're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
You can call it what you want,
Well,
to be
it's
fair.
warm enough, isn't it?
Great bit of work there from Jake Porter for his 2nd try. The goal was successful. It's currently St Peter's 22, Glantaf 30. Oh, we've got a right game in our hands.
have, 8 minutes it says on the clock, but that is just a guide, isn't it? 50 minutes, 2 25-minute halves as well.
Oh, he's trying to thread the eye of a needle again. Oh, when it comes off feet this time, he's done well not to concede a penalty there.
Yeah, he's lucky that Marsh really didn't pick that up.
Yeah, because the instinct is when a ball goes loose, you drop on it, don't you?
There's Marsh now. Evan Marsh just trying to clear his own end.
Dempsey out dummy half, finds Brown. Brown switches it just to his right. Third defence is harrying stuff, to be honest.
I think Peters are just a bit flat. They just need to get deeper, carry the ball hard and try and get a little bit of ruck speed.
Bit too up front there was Jake.
He's lost the ball. He's lost it.
For me, he ran a bit too upright.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I just think that they've been a little bit flat, not carrying the ball, not winding up hard enough, coming out of their own end, and that's what happens. Forced a mistake here.
It's another one of your stats, though, I think, this, to be honest, Kyle, of making an error, unfortunately, after scoring points.
Yeah. It happens a lot, doesn't it?
Harry Rees to feed this scrum. Quite a diminutive character, Harry Rees.
Well, guess where you think this ball's going, Dave?
Definitely down that right-hand side. Witchell on the charge again. Flicks the ball out. Thought there was just a slight suspect about that pass.
Oh, there is definitely one there, yeah.
Scrappy play of the ball. So it's going to be turnover possession, just what St Peter's wanted. Could just do with fashioning a break from somewhere to get away from this area.
That's what they need, Peters. If they're going to snatch this win, they're going to have to come up with someone with a line break.
They've been impressive for me of Glantaf.
Yeah, they have.
This dummy half area with the defence.
Yeah. Peters lads just carrying it too tight to the rut. Look, they're having to come off and back. What it does is forcing them back inside and really restricting their yardage when they play with a bit of depth and a bit of width as well. This is a decent carry from Hindle.
He's done really well this afternoon.
Yeah, he has. He's tried, hasn't he?
Play the ball. St Peter's go on the attack again. McMullen looks for some support. Good footwork. Great
still going.
Porter. Wow, that's a super carry. Well, halfway he goes. Now Going to bring this ball down the right-hand side. It was a dipping pass for Brown. Glantaf can't make much more from it either, but it's the initial mistake which comes in from Brown. It's always a dipping pass for him, though.
Yeah, it was round his shoelaces. Too much of a difficult ball for him to take in.
Seth Robbins coming on for Glantaf as well. He'll pat down in the second row for this one. Witchell just off to the right of this scrum. He's being looked at by the guy who's at the base. Oh, he's lulled into a false sense of security. He sent it the other way. Running chance here for Tristan Nichols. Quickly closed down. Still just over 40 metres away from the line. Soft hands brings Jacob Knox into position and he runs forward. Good defence though, eventually when it reached him from Jake Blatemore. Witchell, right at the heart of the defence again. Just seems that it's going a bit awry. He just says, give us the ball and I'll put it right again. Nice movement, out to Fordham. Just rides the challenge as well, gets to the 20-metre line. He's about 5 in from the touch line.
Yeah, it was good work there from Sam Hurst. I think it's Evan Marsh who's down. He's holding, looks like his right shoulder. It's not Evan Marsh, sorry. I beg your pardon, it's Sykes.
Charlie Sykes, yeah. Struggling a little bit with that one. Again, tried to throw everything at Fordham, who was using that footwork to great effect.
Well, he showed what he could do in the first half, didn't he, Fordham? The first try at Glantaf. Gets pulled down there.
So Howard back at dummy half. Referee checking the defensive line, checking his watch as Witchell unleashes it to Wicks. Doesn't get much opportunity at the line thanks to the tenacity shown by Harry Brown. Still on the edge of the 20-metre line here, Glantaf. Working the ball down the right side. Run comes in from Nicholas. He flicks the ball back. Last tackle signal, by the way. So this is why they're throwing it around. Chance in the ram. Fordham getting on the outside of his man, spinning, twisting inside. He'll have to concede possession there. Good work again.
There's a penalty being given away in back play, Dave, that we... It's just a turnover.
Just turnover on the last act.
Forward pass.
I mean, they were throwing the ball around, weren't they, and giving it some real Glantaf on that last tackle.
It's Peters who are now going to have to roll the dice and come up with something here, because I don't think there's going to be enough time left in this game to get 2 scores.
Big carry Blatemore.
Unless they can do something now.
Again, it's another big carry from Porter. Still inside his own 40-metre line, though. Will they chance their arm on this set? Still keeping the ball fairly tight, but driving towards halfway.
It's a big carry.
Dempsey checking left and right, putting it left. Through hands it goes out to Brown. Oh, there's a running chance here for Hindle. Hindle down the ground.
Oh,
he's been ankle tapped. Wow. I knew who was it, but Witchell. I'm sure it was Witchell who did the ankle tap then. Superb as Brown brings it in field. Blatemore runs. 10 metres away from the line. Last tackle signal here. Is it now or never for St Peters? Kick goes up into the corner. They've got to contest it. Ball goes to ground. It's been picked up and it's gone over. Is this going to be given?
Well, the first error came off Glantaf from first viewing. What's he give here?
Oh, St Peters thought they'd scored. To be fair, I thought they'd scored as well.
Well, he's given a scrum to Peters, Dave. Well, surely you just play on, don't you?
Play on, yeah.
See it again. It was a neat kick from McMullen. Landed just about 5 metres shy of the try line, and the error's there. He's offside. Is it? In front of it all?
Either way, we've got a scrum head and feed to St Peters, so it is more attacking possession for them.
Well,
But have they got enough time?
I'm not too sure, Dave.
Mullen will feed the scrum. Moving across is James Johnson.
Oh, he's here again.
At the base again, Porter. Well defended on this occasion from Glantaf.
Will not be fooled again.
Dempsey turns it infield to Blakemore.
Well, they're just trying to crash over here, and the space is out to the left. They just need to figure out how to move the ball out there.
They've got to thread the eye of a needle, but they've spilled possession. Oh, and there goes Witchell down the middle. That's a super carry. He's been magnificent. Tristan Nicholas stepping.
There's a big chance there for Peters gone begging. They needed to get that ball some width.
Glantaf continuing to move this ball well. Fordham trying to burst his way through up to the 40-metre line inside his own half of the field. Witchell takes control, bounces off one, charges over another one. Plays it on the halfway line. It's a real sensible set, this. As Evans rolls his way forward, loses a bit of momentum, but I'm sure he won't really mind because they're still in possession, even though it is the last tackle. Where's Witchell? Here he is. Measured kick towards the corner. It bounces, it bobbles, trickles. Up in favour of Hurst. Hurst tackled just over the 20-metre line inside his own half of the field. Ooh, that's a
good fend.
Good fend from Ainsworth. Dempsey moves it to Brown. Brown gets his kick away. What's the chase like on this one? Oh, he's going hell and leather at it. It wouldn't sit up for McMullen. He's so unlucky there, and as a result, Dywick eventually drops on it.
Yeah, player 3, and Brown and McMullen just decide that they're going to have to try and come up with something, and it nearly comes off. And there it is.
The referee's whistle sounds. Glantaf win, 30 points to 22. Outstanding performance from them to get the better of St. Peter's. Do we need to even ask each other who the player of the match is?
I think, you could tell by, what you've seen, what you've heard. There's only one player out there who was, he was head and shoulders above the rest, and that's the Glantaf number 6, Jack Whitfield. 3 tries, 3 goals to his name, a total of 18 points in the Year 8 final, national final, and it all belongs to Glantaf. Well done.
Crucial in the end was that, to be fair. I mean, as you say, 3 tries, 3 goals. I just thought they always had that edge in the second half, even though if we look at the stats, St. Peter's actually won that second half 12-10, but ultimately they just couldn't quite get the finishes that they needed.
No, they couldn't. Look, they tried and they were spirited in doing so and come up with some neat little tries themselves, but, you've got to pay credit to the winners, and, ultimately they deserve to win the contest, and they do so by 8 points. And, like I say, Jack Witchell, you take him out of that team and you're looking there at 18 points difference, aren't you? That's how important he was, that's how well he played. But congratulations to all the boys from both teams. Super effort to get back to the final, and who knows, maybe a Year 9 repeat again, the 3-peat if you want to call it.
It was another fantastic game, that though.
Yeah, no, cracking.
Really good game.
Some really good tries scored, some really good moments from a number of players across both teams. And fantastic game this evening.
For St. Peter's, Evan Marsh, Leo McMullen scoring tries, Jake Porter adding 2, McMullen also adding 3 goals. And then for Glantaf, there were tries from Sam Fordham, Harry Davis and Khalil Hassan, with 3 tries and 3 goals from that man, the man of the match, Jack Witchell, proving the difference. There's a lot for Glantaf to celebrate there, I feel, considering, like we've said, they don't get the chance to play rugby league that often.
No, they don't. And just a credit to them. They've got some really good individual, like all the best teams who go on and win things. It's a 17-man game, of course it is, but you have to have stars in there, don't you? To really just take the game by the scruff of the neck and do things when they get in the game when it's most needed. And they had that. They had some good pace from Sam Fordham, who took his try really well, and then. But the real smarts and intelligence of Jack Witchell really shone through today. And for St. Peter's, they have to take this one on the chin, and they have to look to find out ways that which they can get better. And that's the great thing about sport. You get to go again next year, and you get to try and put some wrongs right and learn from it, really.
So we set up for the presentations at the end of this Year 8 boys final. And it's going to be our match officials who will step up first of all to receive their memento, as James Broomhead, the referee, touch judges Ewan Kite and Mav Rhodes to go and collect their mementos. We don't have a game without match officials. It's got to be exciting for them as well, to be honest, getting to ref final.
Yeah, of course it is. Look, they're developing as well, aren't they? You know, so again, like always, we thank them for their efforts as well and playing their part in the final. But the stadium announcer there just recognising what we all thought, the number 6, Jack Witchell for Glantaf, player of the match.
He looks absolutely shattered, no wonder.
I'm not surprised, yeah. I hope he's got some good tea on when he gets in.
So takes the player of the match award. Fantastic work for him, Jack Winchell. If ever there was an award deserved, it was him. And now the runners-up, St Peter's, coming forward. Theo Molyneux taking his medal first of all. It was a real spirited effort from the St Peter's boys.
It was. They got off to a fantastic start, and sometimes, Dave, you can start games too well. And I'm not saying for 1 minute that they thought it was going to be an easy ride, far from it, you know, because that try from Sam Fordham quickly pulled their heads back in and realised they were in a game before, you know, Evan Marsh grabbed that try in the corner, but then it was all Glantaf. It was 3 more tries after that, in fact 4 more tries before Peters responded. But in the end, you know, when it got to that 16-point lead, it was just perhaps too much of a hill to climb for St Peter's.
And now our winners will go up and collect their winners' medals before going over for the picture that is going to be used on all social media. These are the real memories created by winning this sort of competition.
Yeah, and again, look, I'll touch up on the final again last year at Wembley. You know, you think about the big occasion that is for, you know, the players, the teachers, the families, the schools. And, you know, like I say, St Peter's were able to win on that day. So this will be a nice little taste in the mouth of the Glantaf players. You know, they'll be happy that they're able to come back off the canvas and land one on top of St Peter's and claim the title for this year.
So we're just seconds away from them celebrating. Oh, and there's been a Welsh flag unfurled as well. So that'll soon be flying.
Will Evans.
And there we go. Will Evans lifts the trophy. Inspiresport champion schools winners of the Year 8 boys final. Glantaf, great result. Thank you ever so much, Kyle, for your efforts this evening.
My
really
pleasure.
Enjoy your company as always. All the best moving forward.
Cheers, Dave. Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks a lot.